Hey guys, all right, so I'm back, but still recovering, as you can probably hear. I still have a weird voice, still got stuff going on throat-wise, and my sinuses are still a bit weird, but it is what it is, but we're gonna move forward, aren't we? Today we're gonna talk about this. This is the new Revlon Illuminance Skin Caring Foundation. It's got 5% squalane and hyaluronic acid, and I have it in the shade 105. Let's see, does it say anything else? Cream Ivory. Okay, so this is it. We're just gonna try it. I'm gonna try not to talk too much because I am, you know, known for that. Nice pump bottle. All right, it's a bit fairer than I was expecting. I feel like the undertone is good though. And I am in front of the window, so there's a lot of natural light shining on me, so I might look a little bit washed out / shiny. The formula seems pretty thin, so I'm gonna use a sponge, but I'm also gonna use a brush. Yeah, that's a little bit fair. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it looks about right. Already I feel like coverage wise, it's looking like not great. I mean, not a lot of coverage. And I don't know what any of the claims are, but we'll think about that afterwards, because that's what we always do. We try it first and then we read the directions. Okay, a bit more coverage than I was expecting actually, especially from like just sort of testing it on my neck. And I feel like the shade is good for me, but I feel like it is a little bit fair, and maybe I could have, it's just so hard. Like I probably would mix to get a perfect shade, this one and then the next one down from it. Next one, darker. The coverage is a little bit more than I had anticipated, but I also do feel like it's very natural looking, and the coverage is sort of evening out and not being too much, it's not looking too chalky, and it's not looking too much coverage. Or it could be just that it's a thin and not a lot of pigment. That's probably a better way to describe it. Pigment is not a lot. Looking really good around my pores. Yeah, this sort of formula is really good for my skin because it's thin. That's the biggest thing. I feel like the thinner the formula, the more serum-like the formula, the better it is for my aging skin. But that just means that you might have to sacrifice a little bit of coverage though. And I'm just looking to see, it says makeup and skincare in one, medium coverage, natural finish. I think that's all true. Reduces the appearance of wrinkles over time and deeply hydrates skin. So I'm sure all of that is true. I'm just gonna see if maybe we can build up a little bit more coverage, like right here. But honestly, like if you are looking for natural looking makeup, I think this might be your girl. And it is a little bit luminous, but not crazy. Like I would give it like natural coverage. It is a little bit luminous, like I will say that, like it just is, and there's no getting around that. But what I'm really liking is the way it's handling my, no, eczema's on this eye, is it? Yeah, the eczema is here, but I've got a little bit going on right there and maybe a little bit right here for the eczema. So it's not catching on that little tiny, this one is more raised than this side is. This side is all, it's not raised anymore, but it's still very dry and it catches on everything. But this side is more raised, but it's not really catching with the foundation. So I'm gonna add a little bit more so that I can use the sponge for the other side, and we'll just see what happens. Okay, so one thing I will say is I feel like it does kind of want to move around a little bit. And you can see like on my eczema patch, it's really catching, but it almost looks like you can almost like scratch it off. It's not looking great. But I will say that like, if you're a primer girl, you might be able to use your primer and have that be a better situation. I have, if I can find it. I've tried this under eye primer a couple times before I had the eczema and didn't think much of it. I was like, this is dumb. It's not really making any difference. But over top of the eczema, this actually does work to smooth it out. I've tried it a couple times and it seems to work well. Also this one, the Revolution Line Fix Under Eye Primer Rehab. This one works okay, but you have to be careful or it will smear around a little bit. So I think of the two, if you're gonna try one, this one will be better. But these are marketed specifically for under eyes. If you have other dry patches on your face, I mean, maybe you could spot treat it and try it that way to see if it would work. I haven't tried that because I don't have any other dry patches on my face except for this one that won't go away. So I feel like, as a first impression, this is looking really pretty, especially if you are like a makeup minimalist, you want to look totally natural. It's looking really good. You can see a little teeny bit of, it does look a little bit chalky, just a tiny bit though, like other than like a little tiny bit, it's looking really nice. So I don't want to write this foundation off because I think it's looking really nice, and it might just be that this might be a little too fair, and not that it doesn't match my skin tone, but because I've got so much darkness underneath that it just sort of shows the pigment a little bit more. So for anyone that's got a normal skin and is looking for normal coverage and doesn't have to like have such a drastic change from your face to your neck, then you might really like this. And even if you do have a lot to cover, around my eyes, it's looking good. Like all my highly pigmented areas is looking really good. Like, I don't know, you know what, honestly, it's probably just the fine hairs on my face are catching some of the pigment. And that's not, to me, it's not a deal breaker because it's still looking really good. Again, very natural, but I mean, you'll have to make your own decision because look at that. You know, it will catch on dry patches as it's doing right here. As a first impression, all in all, I feel like this might be a good one. I will wear it for the rest of the day and update my thoughts in the description and all that. I feel like they've got a decent shade range. They've got really fair shades, as you can tell. And this one was 105. I don't think it was the lightest shade. So yeah, I feel like this is a nice one. And especially from all the ones I've tried recently, I'm really liking it so far. I don't think I like it as much as the Anastasia one, which has been a really good one from the ones I've tried recently. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up, like, subscribe, ding my bell, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.